this video has been a long time coming. I know there are a lot of narratives about being a bad bitch floating around on the internet that we see and then we come across at all times. So we're like, oh, a bad bitch should look like this, a bad bitch should dress like this, that's how she does her makeup, that's how she talks, she's a little classy, or she's a little rude, she's a little bitchy. However, being a bad bitch is actually nothing to do with that. Well, being a bad bitch means not having to conform to a stereotype, not having to fit into a box that society has created for being a bad bitch. No, the literal and the core definition of a bad bitch is she does everything on her terms. She sets the norms, she sets the standard for being a bad bitch, and she is that standard herself. And that's exactly what a bad bitch is. It's majorly about owning that narrative and fully embracing that narrative. It's about being that narrative. Now, society has separate standards set for being a bad bitch. Yes, like, can you imagine that? You're supposed to, even if you're a bad bitch, you're supposed to fit into societal standards to be a bad bitch. Like, you know what? She's confident, she's bold, she's assertive. No, yes, even though those are major characteristics of a bad bitch, and you know what? People who have those characteristics, good for you, you're still a bad bitch. But even if you're soft, even if you're kind, even if you're soft-hearted, even if you're chill, you're light-hearted, if you're funny, you're still a bad bitch. The thing is, people have confused these superficial things to being a bad bitch, but actually that's not really true. It's not that superficial. A bitch, a bad bitch on top of that, has her self-respect in place, is always looking at her self-growth, and there's always room for self-improvement. She's always trying to focus on herself. That's why her major attention, energy, and focus is on herself, on bettering herself, on having standards, on having self-respect. That's a literal definition of a bad bitch, and not these superficial physical aspects the society puts her into. Now, a bad bitch's guide to self-improvement looks something like this. She creates her life where she shows up unapologetically as herself, her true authentic self, while she's committed to her growth and leveling up. Now, this majorly starts when you reject the need for external validation. A bad bitch knows that self-validation is the only way to grow, to evolve, to level up, to get the things that she wants to get in her life. A bad bitch always has ambitions. She has goals. She has a very strong value and moral system in place. She is unapologetically herself. Now, being unapologetically yourself does not mean that you're stubborn or you're rude or you're arrogant. Absolutely not. That just means that you're going to show up exactly as who you are, and that starts with you embracing yourself with all the flaws, the strengths, and the weakness. Once you embrace yourself for exactly who you are, you can show up as yourself in the world, and the world will accept you. It's because you have accepted yourself. It all starts with you, and a bad bitch knows that. She knows that it all starts within her. She is actually confident enough to believe in herself. She believes in the decisions and the choices that she makes, and she knows that, you know what, even if other people don't understand that, it's not her problem, because she knows what's best for her and she knows what works for her, and she knows that once she sticks to that, it's going to work out for her best interest, and that's exactly what she's going to do. She does not align herself with other people's expectations of her. Again, that's fitting into a box and trying to mold and shape yourself just because, you know what, you want to be digestible to other people. She really does not care about that, because she has things to do. She has life goals, she has ambitions. And imagine, rather than transforming into the person who has all of those life goals, she's becoming something else that other people want her to become, which is completely not in alignment with her true, raw, original, authentic self, or rather her highest self. Imagine that. That's the life of misery, and she knows that, and she would never do that to herself. A bad bitch is very grounded and very self-assured. She knows that, you know what, she knows what's best for her, and she can lead the life that she wants. She is open and she's adaptable. She's open to new knowledge. She's open to new experiences. She's open to new learning opportunities. She's open to opportunities overall in life, because she understands the value of abundance mindset, and she understands the value that leveling up brings. And that means, you know what, if you have to learn a few new things, if you have to put yourself out there, getting out of her comfort zone is very normal for her. Like, that's comfortable to her, because she gets out of her comfort zone a lot, because she knows that's how you're going to grow and evolve into the best and highest version of yourself. Now, there are some non-negotiable habits that bad bitches have. And the first thing is, she emphasizes and she really prioritizes physical fitness, because she understands mind, body, and spiritual alignment. And you know what? Just mind, body, and spiritual health is so much more important, and it's going to pay her off in the long run, because without all of that, she won't be able to achieve the goals that she set her mind to. So she's very careful about that, and she has a good gym regimen, or Pilates, or yoga class, or any sort of physical movement that she deems fit for herself and her body type. She's very aware of all that. She goes and practices that religiously and on a regular basis. For her mental level up, she intellectually challenges herself. She reads new books, she gains knowledge on new topics, she watches a bunch of YouTube videos, she tries to look into different aspects of her life where she feels like, you know what, there is room for improvement. She is very well aware of what is going on in her life, and you know what, she knows that she is in charge of her life. So she makes a conscious decision to evolve in those aspects of her life. Now, when it comes to spirituality, she knows spirituality all starts from within. She maybe practices meditation, mindfulness practices, maybe, you know what, she journals. She's a spiritual baddie, which is completely fine. You know what? If you're into crystals, if you're into burning sage, if you're into all of those things, just to clear the vibe, just to clear the aura in your house, hey, you know what? The more you get into it, the better. Or if not, if you want to do the basic minimum, bare minimum, that's completely fine too. Whatever suits you and whatever floats your boat. But you need to keep practicing these things on a regular basis. And she's very disciplined because she understands discipline is the highest form of self love. You do things even when you don't feel like doing things. For example, just because you booked a class today and you know what, you're like, I have to go for that soul cycle class, but you don't feel like going to it, you go to it anyways, because you're like, you know what, mind over matter. And the bad bitch knows that. She's like, you know what, she's gonna feel so much better once that soul cycle class is done. She's gonna feel so happy, all the endorphins, the happy hormones are gonna come to her, and she's gonna feel so energized. You know what, she's gonna go to it anyways, no matter how she's feeling that day, because she understands that, you know what, she's committed to herself and committed to her growth, her improvement, and this is a part of that. So no matter her feelings, she's gonna show up for herself. Now, a bad bitch understands that having self-care rituals, having routines where you practice self-care on a regular basis is very essential, because your downtime is what allows you to energize and rejuvenate, to do all the things that you need to do throughout the day, to stay productive and to maintain that throughout the day. Now, if you do not take that downtime for yourself, if you do not have those self-care practices, she understands that that's just a waste of time. She's just going to feel dull and unmotivated the next day, which is completely absurd, and she doesn't want to do that, because you know what, again, she's a productive bitch too, so she needs to get back on track. A bad bitch has a very stable sense of self-worth, self-confidence, and she really values the out of herself, because she knows who she is. She understands who she is. She understands her values, her morals, what she stands for, what value she adds into the world, and that makes her priceless. Another thing with confidence is some people have it and some people acquire it. Now, even if you feel like, you know what, you're lacking a little bit of confidence and you're like, oh, I don't know, you're just not that sure, it's a muscle that you're going to build with time. You're going to take some steps towards building confidence. That is, you know what, if you're not a good decision maker, for example, you're going to make a decision, whether that be right or wrong, but that's going to give you that confidence to be able to make that decision. So you're taking one step towards building that confidence. So it's just a muscle. Just similarly, when you train your quads, when you train your back, and when you train your arms and biceps and triceps, just like you do that in the gym, confidence is a muscle that you can train and you can build with time, and you're going to get better at it. I promise you that. It just keeps getting better. There's no going back after that. So even if you're struggling initially, it's fine, because there's a future self, there's a future version of yourself that's thanking you for taking those steps in the first place. Because that future version of yourself is so confident now. She is so amazing. She's so mesmerized by the amount of confidence and the self-worth and the self-esteem that she has. And that's all because you started doing that right now. So give it a shot. Do it right now. And the funny thing about self-worth is, as much as your physical appearance contributes towards it, these are all external factors. Look good, feel good is just for you to uplift the day, uplift the mood, and to just that cherry on top of the cake. You need to be the cake though. Your self-worth, your self-confidence, your self-esteem comes from you, comes from all the things you do for yourself, for all the things that you're made up of, your value system, your morals, whether you work out, how do you feel about yourself on the inside, what your self-concept is like, whether you're having a lot of negative thoughts, do you have a lot of limiting beliefs, do you have a lot of self-doubt, do you struggle with all of that, are you insecure? A bad bitch knows that she needs to purge herself inside out to actually be confident in the core, and confidence in the sense that that confidence is unshakable. No matter what life throws at you, no matter what other people tell you, no matter what happens in your life, you're confident to the core because that's who you are. So for that, you need to purge yourself inside out. You can't just fake it till you make it, because that's not going to sustain you in the long run. Again, it might work for some, might not work for some, but that's not the most sustainable. Once you do the inner work, once you make the inner shifts, that's when everything aligns, and that's when everything falls into place and you become the best and the most confident version of yourself. Self-acceptance is the key here, and it's the standard here, is because once you accept yourself for who you are and exactly who you are, with your flaws, with your imperfections, whatever you think, with your insecurities, whatever it is that you have, once you accept that, nobody and nothing in the world can stop you. Nobody and nothing in the world can use that against you. And they don't hurt anymore. The only thing is why they're hurting and bothering you so much is you haven't accepted that part of yourself. You need to accept the fact that you're human, first of all, and you're normal. Okay, nobody's perfect. And all of these celebrities and everybody, the way their skin looks, they've got a lot of treatments done. Like, stop comparing yourself, first of all, and stop looking at other people. Stop looking at that external validation. Focus on what you really want. Don't let any of that influence you into making the decisions that you deem important in your life. Stop getting so heavily influenced by social media, even though it plays a big role. I completely understand that. But you need to understand everything is very airbrushed, everything is very edited, everything is so not real, everything is very fake. Keep that in mind and just be you. And just accept yourself for who you are. How are you going to set boundaries as a bad bitch? Because a bad bitch and boundaries go hand in hand. She understands that her time and energy are very valuable and they're not for everybody. And you know what? They're majorly just for herself, her self-improvement, her growth, her rest, her peace, her sanity, her mental health, her spiritual health, her well-being. That's when, you know what, you're actually in the core sense of being a bad bitch. She says no without any guilt, like it's nobody's business. Like, she and no go hand in hand again. Okay, like, she does not have to agree or say yes to everything that her friends have planned, her boyfriend has planned, her husband has planned, anybody in her life has planned. She doesn't have to say yes and go along with it, even though she feels like, you know what, I don't want to do this, I'm too tired, or you know what, I'm just not in the mood for it right now. She just says no straightforward because she's like, not worth my time, not worth my energy. Again, here you need to use the hell yes or the hell no rule, which is very simple, but it's so effective. You know what? When somebody approaches you with a plan, if you're confused even for like a second or two, it's a no. And for example, somebody was like, you know what, you want to go to the Coldplay concert? It's a hell yes. See, you feel a difference? It's like an immediate hell yes. You're like, oh yes, that's something that I really want to do. But the other thing, not so much. So do that in your life, implement that in your life, and you know what? You're going to see the difference. And again, when it comes to setting boundaries, you're going to set boundaries in every aspect of your life. It's not just about these things. These are very superficial things. It comes to emotional boundaries. Okay? Some people can be emotionally draining. You need to understand that. You need to understand your energy levels. A bad bitch is very aware of all of that. She needs to set boundaries in every aspect of her life. You know what? Boundaries are not a means to cut people out of your life. Again, they're a means to continue a relationship with them, but they're a means to do it without self-sabotaging yourself. Okay, so you need to understand that boundaries are healthy. She understands that. She communicates her needs very well. She's very open. And you know what? She makes it understood where she stands and what her life looks like, so that there are no distractions here and there. She's very intentional with who she allows in her space, because she understands her time, energy is very, very, very valuable, and she cannot just spend that on anyone and everyone. So she's very picky about that. Now, a bad bitch is very well in control of her finances. She understands that is very, very, very important, and it's a non-negotiable. She knows exactly the amount of money that she makes, and where it's going into. Now I have a whole different video on this, so you know what, this links directly into that, so you guys go watch that because that's going to make a lot more sense after this. So do that. However, a bad bitch just knows what to do because she's financially aware. She's built that awareness. Yes, it's not that she's born with it or something. She knows the kind of skills that she needs. She knows the kind of knowledge that she needs. Now, if she's making a good amount of money, whether that be if she wants to invest the money, if she wants to spend the money, how much shopping budget she wants to have, if she's living in a house, in a rented apartment, what are her needs and what are her wants. She knows and understands that and separates her money accordingly, and she manages that very well. Even though, even though she does splurge a little, she does go out, you know what? The major thing is she's balanced. She's not trying to make a menace out of her life. She's not trying to be toxically stingy or, just prevent happiness from her life flowing into anywhere. She makes space and she makes money for every particular situation, every particular aspect of her life. She's very well aware of what money goes where and how much money she needs in what areas of her life. She invests into good books, she invests into good classes, courses, she invests into the gym, she invests into workout classes, she invests into good food, because all of that is very, very, very essential. She invests and she takes care of all the basic things that a human being should, basically, and she completely transforms herself there. Being a bad bitch also means that you need to have a support system in place, and a bad bitch understands that because you know what? She's still a human being. She's going to have bad days. She's going to have rough days, rough nights. She's probably going to be in a slump, which is completely fine. But the thing is that she's self-aware enough to recognize all of that, and she knows how to bring herself out of it, and that is with a good support system in place. Now, a good support system may not just mean that you have your friends or family, of course they're your support system, but you also think that you watch the most, the content that you consume on a daily basis, the Instagram feed that you have, the TikTok feed that you have, the Snapchat that you have, the YouTube that you have, the Netflix and the Amazon Prime content that you consume. She knows exactly how to monitor everything so that she feels better at the end of it and not that it drains her even more. She's very well aware of that because she understands her energy levels, she understands her hormones, she understands what's good for her and what's right for her because she understands what works for her. So cultivating that kind of self-awareness, even though it might take some time, but once you get there, it's going to switch the game for you guys. So you really need to work on that. Now, a support system is not just there to help you come out of something bad, like a slump or a bad day or an off week, but they also keep you accountable. Sometimes it may so happen that our mind works against us. Sometimes we want to do the thing, but we can't, is because, you know what, we're procrastinating, because we're too afraid to start, because we don't know where it's going to take us, because we don't know the outcome and we're not in control, and the lack of control is making us feel uneasy. So our mind is playing all of these games, okay? And sometimes these games can work against us, which is completely fine, which is completely normal, by the way. Not a lot of people talk about it, but here you go, I'm talking about it. So understand that it's just, that's not how it works. That's just how your mind works. It's just chemical reactions in your brains. It's just hormones. And you know what? As a woman, it's hard. It's absolutely hard. You're not going to be in a perfect mood every single day. You're not going to wake up with a cheery personality every single day, because our life and our body is ruled and governed by hormones. Like, we're not in charge of our own body at this point. So what you're going to do is you're going to give it a rest. You're not going to be hard on yourself. You're not going to judge yourself. As long as you maintain that little amount of discipline, and no matter how you feel or no matter what you think, you're going to do that thing. So for that, I have a whole different productivity video which you guys can watch, because this and that will sink in so well. So you know what, you have different systems in place, you actually have an organized day, you all have an organized week. So no matter how you feel, no matter what you're thinking, no matter what your mind and your heart are doing, you know exactly what needs to be done at that particular hour of that day, and you will do it regardless. So you know you're one step closer to where you want to get without any of this affecting you. However, this is easier said than done, which I completely understand. So sometimes, you know what, if you give in into, the crap that's going on here or the crap that's going on here, it's fine. You're a human being. Give yourself that rest day. But Just make it one day and not more than that, because if you backslide, that backsliding is going to go very deep. And I'm telling you that from personal experience, that backsliding is going to last for a month. Like it could literally last for a month. So don't backslide that much. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Like even if you want to feel sorry for yourself for a day, give yourself a day. Feel as bad as you want for that day. Come out of it and come out of it stronger. Okay. Now, how does a bad bitch bounce back from difficult situations? Like just we spoke about, there are going to be days when you're slumpy and you know what, you don't feel like doing anything and not feeling your best. Now, a bad bitch understands that. And you know what? She's built a lot of resilience. And how she's done that is that she's gone through all of these days. You know, she's gone through all of these days. She's experienced what it feels like to be in one of those slumps, to have a bad day, to go through a bad breakup, or to just be not in a good space mentally. However, she set systems in place for herself that work for her, even if her mind doesn't, even if her body doesn't. There are systems that will definitely work for her. So, usually, what happens is when you're in a bad, slumpy day, this is coming from my personal experiences, your energy is very outwards and it's very diminished. You're feeling low, you're feeling very like lethargic, you just want to procrastinate on everything, you don't want to do anything. However, as soon as you flip the energy back inwards, you take a day. You give yourself a day and you treat yourself like a freaking queen, okay? You do all the self care practices that you've been putting off because your energy was that outwards and you had nothing to give to yourself. Sometimes it so happens that, you know, as women, we do that, which is completely normal. Bring it back to yourself. Focus on things that you like just for that one day. Replenish your own cup. Okay, read the books that you wanted to read, take the class that you wanted to take, go for that Pilates or yoga, or go hang out with a friend, go catch up, go for shopping, go get a coffee, go on a long walk, go for a solo date. Do whatever you feel like doing, but do it for yourself and by yourself. I would highly suggest you do this by yourself, so that you know what, all your energy is contained within you and you're feeling a lot more better. And I'm telling you, by the end of that day, once you're doing your night routine and you're rejuvenated, you're ready to take on the next day. I'm definitely telling you, that's exactly what a bad bitch does. She understands all of that. She understands meditation, journaling, she understands processing her emotions, she understands taking rest days in order to bounce back even stronger and harder and even better. She understands all of that. She understands maybe her skin's acting up, she's feeling a little bad about it, but you know what? It's not permanent. She understands the beauty of everything being temporary. Nothing is permanent. And if there is a problem, there is a solution. Problem and solution go hand in hand. You need to always remember that. So a bad bitch remembers that, and that's exactly how she lives her life. So that just makes it easier for her to bounce back from things. But you know what? Sometimes if you're in a bad mindset and bad headspace, you don't really understand. But once you solve all of those issues, you're gonna get there. Bad bitch understands the importance and significance of silencing her inner critique. Sometimes it's not even the other people that we're worried about here. Sometimes it's ourselves judging ourselves, which is so bad. Why are you doing that? Like there are people out there who will do it for you, so don't do that to yourself. Okay? She understands the significance of dealing with her self-doubt, dealing with her insecurity, dealing with her low confidence, dealing with her low self-worth, low self-esteem. She understands that. That's why I keep suggesting this on my channel. Is that you need to do the deep inner work, you need to do the deep inner cleanse to become that bad bitch. And once you've done that, I'm telling you, I promise you, you're already a bad bitch. You do not have to do anything else to prove that you're a bad bitch. You're already a bad bitch. It's because you're so much more confident, you're a lot more resilient, you've come out a lot more stronger, you understand your self-worth, you understand your self-esteem, and you're good to go. A bad bitch has an abundance mindset. Always remember that. She always sees and operates from an identity of an abundant person. She always sees a challenge as an opportunity or a learning curve. She does not look at it as a challenge where she's like, oh, that's a hurdle. I don't know if I can deal with that. No, I can and I will is her language. That's what she speaks. She doesn't have any negative vocabulary. She does not vocate negatively at all. She does not associate herself with that identity. She is in a very positive headspace because she knows that's what's going to take her to the life that she wants to build for herself. And she's very self aware and she's very aware of that fact You know what, that's the only thing that'll take her there. So that's exactly what she focuses on, and what you focus on grows. Now, last but not the least, let's talk about what physical appearance means to a bad bitch. Now, physical appearance, again, like I said, is not the major thing here. It's the inner work, okay, that's going to make you a bad bitch. However, who doesn't like the cherry on top? Who doesn't like the icing on the cake? So we're going to talk about it, okay? So a bad bitch, again, let's not think about a bad bitch as a stereotypical definition that people have put in front of us, or that social media has put in front of us, where she does her wing liner like that, where she does her contour like that, you know, she looks like that, she's clean. None of that. None of that. So being a bad bitch is very different for different people. Everybody is very different. Everybody has a very different face structure. Everybody has a different way they like to do their makeup. Everybody has different way they like to do their hair. Everybody has different way they like to dress. Their sense of style. Everything is very different. Everything is very different. What I like, you may not like. What you like, I may not like, which is completely fine, because we're very different individuals, and let's put it that way, and let's stay that way. No harm, no foul, right? So you're going to figure out the best makeup techniques that work out for you. Okay, you're going to figure out the best hairstyles that work out for you, the best kind of dresses that work out for you, the dressing sense that you want to have. And the way that you do this is you envision your highest self. Now, for example, let's not make it that complicated. If you look up to somebody, there's like a celebrity person that you have in mind who inspires you, who inspires the creativity out of you, like Kylie Jenner or Kim Kardashian or whoever it is, okay? Or Zendaya, oh my god, Zendaya and Blake Lively, like amazing. Or Beyonce, if they are your style inspiration, which is great. If you really want that, if that's something you look up to, your highest self may be somewhere around that area, probably in the way they do their makeup. Now, what looks good on their face may not look good on your face, so do it according to your face structure. Again, a bad bitch knows that. Do it according to your face. Do your hairstyle according to your face. Dress according to your body type. Okay, embrace and love your body type, by the way. All body types are beautiful. Pizzas and women look good in all shapes and sizes, by the way, so there you go. Okay, remember that a bad bitch always knows that she will figure herself out first and foremost. She will see what her sense of style is, what she looks best in, what makeup suits her face the best, like what actually accentuates her features, what hairstyle makes her look and, you know, feel the most confident. Again, it's not about just looking good, it's about feeling confident from within. What makes you feel like that girl? Hey, if that's like, you know what, if you want to cover, if you're into modest clothing, great. If that's what makes you feel like a bad bitch, good for you. If you're more into showing a little bit of more skin and, you know, trying different tops and different styles and different dresses, good for you. You do you. Hey, it's completely subjective. So being a bad bitch is your own genre that you need to set for yourself. It's like a character in a video game where you choose the dress, the hairstyle, the makeup, the hair color, all of that. So, you know what? Make it your own. Live your life. Having said that, we come to the end of this brilliant video. This has been a long time coming. I'm so impressed. I am so impressed because a lot of research was put into this, because there are a lot of things that people don't talk about being a bad bitch, and I've just spoken about that. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Till then, I'm gonna see you in my next one. Take care and bye. Money on top of me, money on top of her. Money on top of me, money on top of her. Daddy fuck with me 'cause you know